Okay, now
Yes,
hello.
ma'am.
The program translation is the fourth application of your compiler technology. The translation you already know, it is nothing but one language is to another language. The translation can be done in any types of languages. Okay, see, we not about only high level languages only we are translating, or low level language only translate. It's not like that. There are different way of applications, then it will be transferred from one language to another, but you are not observe that one. Okay, okay. Are you observing from any translation? You are done for the fifth semester network lab. Yes or no? Network lab for the NS simulator. There also translation can be done. There also we are using compiler. Did you observe that? That is also one type of application where I am compiler using. Then you are go for uh, third semester. Anyone remember third semester which lab you are doing for hardware oriented?
AD, ma'am.
AD.
ADE lab. Okay, there are using any compiler? Are you using software program? I remember what is the software you are using there for writing for the program? You're writing VHDL code, right? VHDL code, PSpice program. Can you
Yes, ma'am.
remember? For designing for the circuit, half adder, full adder circuit for the multiplexer program you written. Okay, we are going for the VHDL code. VHDL code is also one type of language, right? What is the full form of VHDL? Very high speed description language. That is also one type of language. Okay, there also we are using compiler, because whatever you write the program, that should be compile. We are using for the compilation process. Then that we think it only for these software tools. Then no, we have all type of fields we are using compiler. According to that, we can divide into four types. One is binary translation, the second one is hardware synthesis, third one is database query interpreter, fourth one is compiled simulation. Okay, this program translation can be done in different formats. That format can be divided into four types. Let me go for the binary translation. Binary translation is nothing but we are using for your always in the software. The compiler technology is used to translate a binary code for one machine to another, allowing the machine to run programs originally compiled for another instruction set. Binary translation is nothing but if you compiled one code, you will get an exe file. You take that exe file, you can take it to execute in any other machines. Okay, that is called binary code. This binary translation technology is used various computer companies to increase the availability of the software for their machine. For that we are using. Then one of the example for the binary translator is developed to convert 8086 code into alpha and to spark 4. So I'll give the example for this. Binary translator is provide backward compatibility. See, we have Windows 95. Then we have upgraded version is Windows 98. Then we go upgraded version Windows 2000, Windows 2016. Like that will come. See, if you are writing any word from with respect to that 2000, the 95, that 95, whatever you do, something is advances will happening 98. See, whatever the 98 it is there, that will not support it for the 95. See, 95 including that some more features should be added, it will go for the 98. See, it's a backward compatibility, it's not a forward compatibility. Since 2000 version features is not available in 95, but 95 what are all that features are available, all the features are available in what 2000 versions. Like that, for any one of the code can be written by using a lower to higher version. Okay, that is for one of the example for binary translation. Just it supports backward compatibility. The next we go for, just don't take too much of involving for all those things. Just you write four types of program translation and can give one example for those translation. It's enough, because for 5 marks we have to explain all 5 applications. Okay, 5 to 6 marks. Hardware synthesis. Just now I told in the ADE lab we are using for compiler also for writing the program. The not only in the software written in the high level language, even hardware design also described high level languages. It have a hardware description language like VHDL. See, if you want to design hardware language, we are using the insert that register transfer level RTL are used. We are using a register, transistor to store all those things. Registers are used to represent the combination logic circuit, and transistors are used to store for the gates information. For while after writing the program, you are going to for the compilation of program. There are two types of compilation. We are doing for the synthesis analysis and behavioral analysis. What you are doing for synthesis analysis, and if you remember, you will get it for this idea. Behavioral and synthesis, this is how the I'm doing the compilation process. Okay, we are using for the turbo C for the compiler, but here hardware languages we are using behavioral synthesis and uh, hardware synthesis for compilation of the program. And the same thing, not only in the hardware and not only in the software, we are also using for some applications like SQL database to search the query of our using different types of operator, Boolean operator or predicates will be used to search all those things. There also we are using compiler. This is also one type of application of compiler using database query interpreter. And not only in the database hardware software, in the simulation purpose also. Simulator is also you are using for compilation to compile our the diagram. Whatever you design your simulation part, I have to compile it. Then only you should be get the answer for the simulation. There we are also use. Simulation is a general technique used in the many scientific engineering discipline to understand the phenomena, to validate whatever you design part is correct or not. Input to simulator is usually include description of the design and specific input parameter that particular simulator can start run. Then simulations are very expensive. The normally we are using for our lab is NS2 simulator. And typically we need simulate many possible design alternatives on many different input sets for each experiment to compute high performance machine. See, we can try with the different types of input to run on our NS2 simulator. The compiled simulation can run order of magnitude faster than the interpreted based approaches. The main intention of this fourth point is we have four types of simulator, four types of application can be used in compiler technology. The last point of your application, software productivity tools. You will get a question for the 3 to 4 marks. List the software productivity tools and explain it. You already know these points. The problem of finding all programs in your program is very tedious process. Then to identify those types of error, if you are introduced your only the type catch, that is for try and catch exception handling for all those things, and easily can identify those types of error. For that we are using some software tools like type checking, bounce checking, and memory management tools. You know what is type checking? Bounce checking in Java and memory management tools you are using C++. You know that you have to expand your answer with your own words. What is type checking? The type checking is an effective and well established technique to catch inconsistency in the program. It is mainly used for catch the error. For example, the operation is applied to the wrong type of object if parameter passed to the procedure is not matched and signature procedure. That means you already know if you give input should be not in the correct format, then you only give a error messages. Okay, this if it is give like this of file type, then you can display error that file is not proper. For example, number of argument passed to be 2. Instead of passing 2, you get 3. Then you only mention error. There your input should be invalid. Like that, if you are the programmer, you know what type of input can be given. Instead of giving that input, we are giving the wrong input. Then you can suggest what type of error message can be get. That is easy to detect the error that is possible for that. Because of that, we are using one type of tools called type checking can using. The next is bounce checking. This is here always you are facing in Java array or C++. Bounce checking for that array out of array index. That array of size should be a is equal to 100. I am taking that time inserting element for the 101. It will overflow those things for that one. It is called overflow of the buffer. That is called bounce checking. It is easier to make mistakes when programming in low level languages than a higher level one. For example, the many security breaches in a systems are caused by buffer overflow in the programs is written in C. See, but does not have array bounds checks, but it is easier to ensure that if you get it, if you mention that any error messages, it can that can be debugged by using of these techniques. The techniques have been developed to find buffer overflows in the program with limited success. Then for the memory management tools, the memory management is nothing but a garbage collector. If you are allocating an object for the given thing, that object will not use the long time. Instead of wasting for that, you can use that. That is called what? Garbage collection. Garbage collection is another excellent example for the trade-off between efficiency and a combination easy of programming and software reliability. The automatic memory management detects all memory management errors, which are major problem in C and C++ problems. Then you have a memory leaks. What do you mean by memory leaks? Anyone can tell me what is memory leaks? How to identify the memory leaks, or how to identify that garbage collector allocated this or not? Various tools are used to find these memory management tools. One of the example we are using is Purify is used to dynamically catch the memory management errors if it is occurring in the program. If object is created and assigning the value, no longer we are not using, and it is wasting for allocating that memory. Then if you don't want, then it should be discarded, it should be removed from those things. Then whenever you want, again once again for allocate it, for like that purpose can be do it. Then the last topic, programming language basics. This is full basics. You know about the basics. Just you will get an 1 or 2 marks questions for this. Those basic you will get a 2 to 1 marks question applicable. What is language basics? What is static? What is dynamic variable? What is environment states? Statiscope global structure, that is for local variable, global variable. Explicit access control. What is explicit access control? You have a 3-access specifier. What are the 3-access specifier? What is the 3-access specifier in the C++ you are using? Public, private, protected. Okay, then how dynamic scope, how dynamically runtime environment variables are accessing. Then parameter passing mechanism, call by value, call by reference, and call by name. Aliasing is studied in DBMS. Okay, this is the programming language basics. We don't want in depth all those things. Just you know that. Just I will tell you what are the things to be remembered. Static and dynamic distinction. See, what do you mean by static? Static means dynamic. Can you give the difference between static and dynamic?
Constant is static and dynamic, it keeps on changing.
Okay, when the static will be start run, and when it is come to picture static will be come at the compile time. Dynamic,
At the runtime, ma'am.
it will get the runtime. Then if a keyword static, public static int x. Okay, this value, what is the meaning of the last statement? Public static int x.
Once the value of x is declared in the program, it will use the x value as it is. It can't be changed.
If it is once again, if you declared in the anywhere in the program int x is equal to 2, then that value should be changed, or whatever it should be already previously we are defining, that value only taken.
That value only taken, ma'am.
Int x is equal to 1. Okay, now it is equal to 1. Okay, after some 4 to 5 lines, I am defining int x is equal to 2. Okay, then x value should be changed, or x value should be remains changed as x is equal to 1 only.
It is x is equal to 1 only, ma'am.
Okay, that only you know, that is for the static, and
Same.
it will be remain same. That difference you already got it. Okay, let I move for the next is environment and states. This environment and states, you will get a 2 marks question for this. Define environment and define states. You know the value. What is environment? This is x is equal to y plus 1. What is the meaning of x is equal to y plus 1? Just normal understanding. What is x is equal to y plus 1? X is a variable.
And
Left value.
the value of x is the value of x equal to value of y plus 1.
Yeah, that whatever the value will get y, that y plus 1 will be added and stored it into which location? X variable.
X location.
Just you know x is equal to y plus 1. That's an assignment operator I am doing. Y value of y plus 1 will be stored into x. Okay, this way I am doing for the mapping from that y plus 1 to what? X. Okay, these things we called as an environmental state. See, we call this is x is called L value, y plus 1 is called R value. This will get sometime in while doing the program. X is equal to you put semicolon only. Then you will compile your program. You will get an error. R value is missing. Did you observe that? Something. If you are missing for left hand side, then you will get L value is missing. That error can also occur while compiling a program. See what this environmental state is. We can do two-stage mapping can be done. This in x is a variable. I am assigning the value y plus 1 into the x location. This process is called as an environment and state. This is a name. Name will be allocated to location. The location is x. See, when int x is created, what will be happen in the memory? X variable, that address, there is a space will be created. Then y plus 1. Y plus 1 will be assigned into x. Then the answer of y plus 1 will be stored into the which location? For the x location. The x location will be stored in the memory. That memory will store. Assume y is equal to 2. Then what is the value of x? Y is equal to 2. What is the value of x? X is 3. 3 is stored in where? Memory.
X location.
Correct. No, the memory x is already created. In that there is an empty in that memory location. Once the value of y is computed, it will go and stored into the memory location. That is called values. Okay, allocating values into the location. Allocating values into the location is called state. Allocating the space in the memory for that variable, it is called environment. You got it? That environment and state. Okay, the first one is x. The x is created in the memory. It is called as a environment. Once the value is computed, that value is stored into the corresponding location. It is called as a state. Okay, let me go the definition further. Environment is a mapping from names to location in the store. Since the variables are refers to location, because L values, we could alternately define an environment as a mapping from names to variable. Okay, that's only creating memory space in the memory. State, a mapping from location to the store their values. For those location, I am assigning 3. X is equal to 3. That steps is called as a state. The state maps L values to their corresponding R values in that C. So you have to write only these two lines. What is environment? What is state? And you have to write this pictorial representation. This one. Names to location, location to values. It is called as an environment and state. Okay, let I will give one example for this. I am declaring for this. Can you tell me what is the value of x finally? Int I is equal to 1. Okay, this is the global declaration of I. There are some lines. Then void f of function int I is equal to 3. Okay, then x is equal to I plus 1. Okay, printf x. What is the value of x now?
Two.
X value should be what? It will take global variable or it will take local variable?
Global variable.
Global,
That
ma'am.
value. See, in the exam also you will get some parts of code like this. Just you have to you already know the concept. From the first semester, third semester, you know the concept. Just you should be right. What is the answer for these things? It's a set of code lines, 3 to 4 lines code will be getting. For those code line, you have to write the answer. If you printf statement in the inside the function, f function, What is the value of I?
Three, ma'am. Inside the function.
Inside the function f it should be 3. Outside the function of x should be what? 2. Okay,
Two,
let I
ma'am.
go for the next one. Okay, observe this one. This is give the static scope for the block structure. See, block is nothing but there are so many. How to identify the block? The parenthesis will be give the scope of that variable. See, I am writing main. The main have open parenthesis. Int a is equal to 1. Int b is equal to 1. Again, I am open the block, that is for the parenthesis. Int b is equal to 2. Open the parenthesis. I am printing in those block int a is equal to 3. See out a comma b. Next, close parenthesis. Again, open parenthesis. See, open parenthesis and close parenthesis gives the scope of that variable. It belongs to that block only. Okay, that is with respect to that block. Then what am I writing in the red bottom? B1, B2, B3. That is for the block. See, I have a 4 block. The 4 block. Now I will ask you the answer for the block 3. For the block 3, what is the A value and what is B value? For block 3, what will be A value and what will be the B value? If you run the program, assume. Now, what is A and B with respect to block 3?
3 and 2.
A value is what? 3. B value is?
Two,
B
ma'am.
value? B value? Here B value is declared, no?
2, 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Two, ma'am.
very good. Okay, for the block B4? Block B4?
3 and 4.
A value is how much?
3.
Three, ma'am.
Which A value will be taken? It will take the global outside the A will taken or
One global
you
one.
carefully observe. You
Global one.
carefully observe A
Yes,
value. What is the A value now?
1. 1.
A value should be 1. It's not 3. You got it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What's
Yes,
the B
ma'am.
value? B value is 2 or B
Four.
value is 4?
4,
4.
ma'am.
4.
Very good. Okay, last statement. C out A and B. Block 1 though.
1. 1.
A value is 1 and B value is 1.
A value is 1, B value is 1. You got it? What I'm explaining for this is only for how the variable will be move on with respect to the scope of that variable. Then you are printing. See, like that, some examples for 1 or 2 type questions will be given in the exam to write the what is the output of these things. This is the block will be represent. The parenthesis will be give the scope of those variable. Either it can be local variable or it can be global variable. Okay. Okay. Next, explicit access control. What are explicit access controls are available? C++. Private, public, protected. What do you mean by public?
It can be accessible everywhere.
Private,
Can be accessed through that function only. It can be inherited or
protected, three
It
classes are there.
It can be accessed within the class and within the child class.
Yeah, that is called subclasses. Okay, we have a 3 access specifier. One is public, private, protected. Public names are accessible from outside the class. Private names are given to scopes that only in that method, declaration and definition associated with that class or any one of the friend classes. Protected name be accessible to even subclasses. Okay, the next. Okay, this is a dynamic scope. See, now I am defining one macro. See, now as define A of x plus 1. Dynamic scope is okay, this macros will be substituted when the program start run. Then the dynamic time. Then only the macro, whatever the macro I am defining, that will be substituted and calculated, will get the result. See, I am defining one macro as defined. A is my macro, that is value substituted with x plus 1. Then int x is equal to 2, I am creating two functions, void of b, int x is equal to 1, printf percentage d slash n a. Another function is void C, printf percentage d a. Then I am calling void main in that two function B and C. Now tell me what is the output. You tell me. I will write the output.
Two and
Two.
three and three.
2 and 3. Yes, ma'am.
2 and 3 or 2 and 1.
Two and
First function is B, right?
Yes, ma'am.
2 and 3. Correct? 2 and 3. Any doubts? The first function what? Int x is equal to 1. See, this is the local int x is equal to 1 calling for a. Then a value is what? X plus 1. What is the x value now? 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. For that, I got in 2. Next we go for this is the another function. Here x is not defined. When x is not defined, which x is to be taken? What is that x value now? Global. That x is
2, ma'am.
taken 2. Then that a is a macro, the macro is substituted here. X plus 1. X
plus
value
one
is
is
2.
two.
2 plus 1 is what? 3. I got the answer is 2 and 3. Okay. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Next is the last one. Parameter passing mechanism. See, in the parameter passing mechanism, you already know. Can you tell me what is actual parameter and what is formal parameter? Actual parameter where you are defining. Formal parameter where you are using.
Ma'am, actual parameter is the variable where it is originally declared and used, ma'am.
The
Which is
called
passed
function we are using or calling function you are using?
from place where we are calling the function, ma'am.
Okay. Formal parameter.
Is the parameter which we will be using from the function will be using in a calling function, ma'am.
Calling function. Okay. You know that one. Actual parameter and formal parameter. This parameter passing can be done in two ways. You already know that one. Call by value. What is call by value?
A copy of the values will be passed to the calling function, ma'am.
Call by
Any changes done in the calling function will not be reflected to the original
original
parameters, ma'am.
parameter. So actual parameter will not vary. Call by reference.
In call by reference, we are actually passing the parameters pointer, ma'am, where the any changes we make will be reflected at our original parameter, ma'am.
Okay. Call by name. Sometimes you are using this also. Worst case, we are not normally we are using call by name. You're using name is directly you can pass that name as well also for the calling function to call the value. Okay, next we are using DBMS. What is aliasing? This keyword is used in DBMS, right? Aliases.
We give a name, ma'am, reference
Yeah.
name.
Just one more name. Just instead of that name, I'm giving a calling by another name. The same variable, but we are called by another name. But it will pointing to the same locations or different location.
Same, ma'am.
Same location. It is yeah. It is possible to the two formal parameter can refer to the same location. Such variables is called as a aliasing. Okay, this is with respect to for applications, the programming language basics. See here you will not get any questions. I told no some program blocks. For the program blocks, you can get an what is an output expected in the internals also in the exam also you will get like that tough code. You will get it. You will not get any explanation. If you get explanation, or I told that one is what is environment and what is states. That only you will get it for those. X is equal to y plus 1. Mapping of y values into the variable x is called as an environment. Assigning to those values for that location is called state. Okay, this is with respect to module 3. Which module I am start doing now? Module 3. Module 3 of which chapter? Chapter 1. The chapter 1 is Introduction to Compiler. Okay, Introduction to Compiler I did for the chapter 1 is completed. What are the topics I covered is, the first one is what? Introduction to Compiler. Language processor I did. Second one is phases of compiler I did. Third one, evaluation of programming language. Fourth one, the science behind for compiler design. Fifth one, application of compiler technology. Sixth one, programming language basics. 6 topics are there. The minimum 15 marks will be coming from this chapter, chapter 1. For the next class, I will move on to the same module. We have a third chapter, that is lexical analysis. Now onwards we go phases of compiler. The first phases of your compiler is lexical analysis. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Next, you have to attentive that it will start for your techniques. I have 1 hour or 2 hour will get the theory. Then after that, it will start for the problems. How to write the programming. We are going for the lab oriented. How to write our Lex program. We will start for the Lex programming concept from the next class. Okay. Thank you. I will take the attendance quickly. I will take the attendance the last 2 minutes.